I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets' Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!
Rumble! Oh, sorry. Welcome in, everybody. I mean, I imagine all of you guys just saw an epic football game. Chaos, did you just watch that?
That was pretty amazing, man. I never seen a situation 4th and 4 from inside the red zone where a quarterback turns around and says, I like to, in case nobody knows, I like to throw 40, 50-yard passes to win games. This short distance doesn't work for me, so let me turn around, run the wrong way, turn around, and then throw it 50 yards to win the game or tie up the game.
Yeah,
let
me throw it to the moon, and then the moon is going to throw it back down, back corner of the end zone, touchdown, tie game.
Just unbelievable.
Dude, electric. I can't deny it, man. The Bears, very fun run they just went on. I can't imagine, I can't remember a run that was that exciting. At the same time, what happened after that?
They lost.
They lost, man. Similar to what the Patriots will happen, what they'll do next week. Shout out Tom Brady down there. Dude, it was just fun to watch that game. Like, the Rams were in a stranglehold, but again, Bears second half team. They come from behind routinely. They did again. But they couldn't quite deliver another time. And now we have Rams, Seahawks. Holy crap, is that going to be a game, right?
Look, it's the Seahawks, whenever you get a new team to just step up, new coach and everything, and it's always, you never want to believe it. Same thing with the Patriots, right? Like, each week nobody's believing it because it doesn't make sense. It's the Bills that are supposed to be good. It's the Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore. Those are the premier. Everyone has so much trouble accepting new people into the fold. Well, Seattle and New England are in the fold, right? I mean, how much evidence do you need? People are still fighting it. People are still saying, well, New England's had the easiest path. Look, They have the easiest. If they have the easiest path, it's because they earned it by winning in the regular season week after week after week. So you can't. It's ridiculous. This is, they're here. Seattle is here. What they did to the Niners, they're here. What you saw New England do today, they're here. Drake May is for real. They're here. You might not like it, but it's the reality. If you're a Jets fan, or if you're a Miami fan, or a Bills fan. It's just the reality. And I've accepted it. Now, I think the Rams were the best opponent for Seattle if someone's going to beat them in the NFC because of the experience.
Agreed. On the other side, you mentioned it, man. Patriots going up against the Denver Broncos in Denver. What do you think of that matchup while I have you, talking playoffs?
I'm not going to write off Denver because, like everybody else is, because of Bo Nix being out. Because, and I said this before, we were talking about before on Green Beans, on the Green Bean channel during the stream. I think it hurts them. Don't get me wrong, and obviously it hurts them. At the same time, I don't believe that Denver, and this is not a knock on Bo Nix. He's been great and he's done his job and he's done it really well. But I don't look at Denver as this team that's driven on the shoulders of a quarterback. I think he's done a really, like New England, Drake May is the team. Not that they're not good around him, but I'm saying if Drake May got hurt and Drake May wasn't playing and it was reversed, it would be like, oh boy, because he's really special. And he is that offense that makes it work. It's Denver's defense, crazy defense, Sean Payton's system. And we didn't, we don't know. We don't know that this quarterback is going to be that much of a drop off. Like he might be, if he's good at running the system, he might be able to run their system.
You're right. It's not the same thing as if Drake May, broke a bone in his foot. I think that's a totally different story. If there's any team left in this playoffs that could suffer, an injury like that, I mean, maybe the Rams, but honestly, like the way McVay can coach them up, maybe not even them. It's Denver. It's Denver, man. It's going to be interesting. Let's just put it this way. I would have picked Denver if Denver had Bo Nix. I would have confidently picked Denver. Now I don't know, man. I think it's a coin flip. Even without Nix, it's still that close though. Coin flip. We'll see what Stidham does because honestly, a couple plays can change the outcome of a game. We don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, anything can happen, but it's got me at least thinking that this game can go either way. When before, maybe not so much. Maybe I was an idiot for thinking that Denver could win this game with Bo Nix, but hey, that was my take, and I'm sticking to it. Without Bo Nix, I would flip a coin.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what neither team was in the beginning of the year. You wouldn't have believed it if you said Denver, New England. You just would not believe this. I remember Jets fans were marking down the schedules of New England as the wins. They think that's one of the teams we can get a win against.
What a difference 6 months makes, man. It's insane. Alan is chiming in. He says it's Seattle minus 2.5. I could see that. He said it's New England minus 4.5. Are you projecting that, Alan, or is that the actual opening line? Let us know.
It's hard to know with him.
Yeah. Because and also,
no, I'm saying it's hard to know if like that. You have to ask because he is a person who has no problem putting his opinion out there as a thing. It's like, you know what I mean? And that's not an insult. Like he has no problem saying this is what it should be and declaring.
He speaks emphatically. I think that's what you're trying to say. He speaks with authority. But also, like New England on the road is minus 4.5. Do you think that's accurate?
I think that if it was in New England, it would be 9. Somewhere between 8 and 10 points. But it's in Denver, so I mean, this would make sense to me because it's in Denver that it's only 4.5. But it's still amazing to be a a favorite going into Denver. That's obviously because of the quarterback situation. But like, you know, going into Denver, and Denver's the #1 seed, and you're the visiting team, and you're giving 4.5 points, more than a field goal. Is that, I mean, obviously that reflects the quarterback situation, right? If this is the actual line.
Give me Denver plus 4.5, and I'll be comfortable with that. I think that's too big of a stretch there. Maybe New England minus 2.5. Yes, 4.5. Another story, man. I don't see it. That's Vegas though. They see it. I don't. They think there will be a bigger drop off from Knicks to the next man up, and I don't. I don't think that.
Well,
And
if the rest of the country and the world agrees with you, the line will change.
you're right. You're right.
So,
All right, let's get into it. Chaos. We spoke 1 week ago on this channel, of course. We spoke 1 week ago, and what was the topic then? It was, oh yeah, Dante Moore, right? What are we doing now? Dante played bad. Are we still going to draft him? Are we going to do something else? Well, in the last week, that question kind of sorted itself out. We
not our
cannot draft. Yeah.
Not problem.
Yep. So, and again for this, okay, he's saying the line just jumped New England minus 5.5. It's too early to look at that, man. Let me look at that on Tuesday. But anyways, this week, obviously, you saw it, Chaos. Dante Moore not declaring. He's going back. One more run. Can you just speak to this audience briefly on what you think that did for us? Again, you said not my problem. Is that a good breath of fresh air?
I mean, I'm going to state the most obvious, Captain Obvious thing in the world. It either is something, assuming we don't get him next year, because remember, there's not an impossibility that if we liked him and we're going to pick him this year, that we're going to end up in a position to take him next year, right? So you got to put that on the side, right? But assuming we don't, let's say he just doesn't end up a Jet, then it's going to be one of two obvious things. It's going to be we dodged a bullet, like thank God he didn't come out and we drafted him, right? Or it's going to be one of those typical Jets things. Like he was ours, we had him, and the fucker went back to school, and now he's now he's a freaking franchise quarterback somewhere. Like, and it's going to be the typical fucking the cursed Jets, right? Because we had him. Like if he turns out to be great, because we were going to take him if he came out, almost guaranteed, we were going to grab him. So that's what it's going to be. We're gonna maybe it's 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now. At some point in the future, we're going to know which it is. Did we dodge a bullet, or do we have another thing to just say, oh, he's me, always me?
Yeah. I mean, it was exciting to think that we would be able to pick a guy in the top 2 that was a quarterback, regardless who it was, man. It was exciting to think that finally we can turn over this room. We still can, but not through the youth route, not through a confident approach of studying a guy all off season and knowing you're going to get him and just pulling the trigger because you're confident in it. Like, I can't wait for that day. And hopefully it's just 15 months from now instead of 3. But yeah, dude, a bummer, because even if you didn't like the kid, someone would have at 2nd overall, right?
Well, no matter what, then it's a game. And then it's a game of what if this, that, what if that. Like if we didn't like him, we weren't going to take him. Then it's just bad, because we weren't. If we don't like him, we don't like him. All it did was hurt the value of the draft pick. If we wanted to trade out, maybe somebody would have given us a ridiculous haul to move up. Like maybe even just maybe we would only have to move down a couple spots. Not even move down that much and still gotten one of those premier top, positional players, non-quarterback positions. And it would have been a great thing for us. But then there's the thought that if we would have picked him, then we could have dodged a bullet, or he would have been our guy. So, it's one of those sliding doors. If you ever saw the movie Sliding Doors, it's one of those situations in life where we don't know the answer right now. The door slid a certain way. We missed the train or we didn't miss the train. We don't know yet how that impacts our life. Like, was that a good thing that we missed the train or a bad thing? We don't know yet. Sometimes you just have to wait and be patient, and you find out.
Agreed. So, I mean, and this might be some rehash. We were on another channel in the last day, but I do want you to state for the people who are here and weren't there, pick number 2. Okay. Can't take Dante Moore. Probably won't take Ty Simpson. What is your move? Because I mean, I have it here. Hold on. Make it a little easier on you. I'm gonna provide you with some options.
Don't misspeak the first name like I always do.
Arvel.
Like yeah. Instead of Carvel, Arvel without the C.
All right. Here are notable options with the number 2 pick, according to Connor Rogers, which I think he's a solid mind in this fan base. Say what you will, but these are, I think, probably your 5 options as well. Jeremy, you're on the clock. I mean, we have the first real choice of the entire draft because everybody knows the Raiders are taking Mendoza, right? After that, the draft starts. Here is some options. What do you do with pick number 2?
Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is I did a video on him. I like him. He's a really good player, but I'm taking David Bailey off that list immediately. I'm canceling him out. And here's why. Not because he might be a star. He might be really, really good. The reason I'm canceling out David Bailey is there's too strong a possibility he might end up being a pass rush specialist. I think Dom C is convinced of it. I think he could be wrong. I think that David Bailey potentially could be fine sealing the edge and fine against the run, but there's not a lot of evidence of that. That's going on faith and like that he could develop into that. There's a strong risk he's going to end up being a pass rush specialist and he's not going to be a guy who can stop the run and not develop well enough there. And if that, we can't take chances like that. We have our Will McDonald. We don't need another Will McDonald. We need a guy to play opposite of JJ, right? So we need a 3-down guy. And it just doesn't make sense to take the chance when you have a guy like Ruben Bain there, right? That we know is going to be a 3-down lineman, right? That seals the edge, already really good against the run. So David Bailey is removed, for me. I think he goes to a team that has good edge sealers already, that needs the pass rush specialist, that needs the pressure quarterbacks. So to me, it comes down to Arvell Reese and Ruben Bain. I love Caleb Downs. I think he's a great player. He's a guy, if Dante Moore was there and we didn't want him and traded down a couple of spots, Caleb Downs would have been a fine option. If he's the guy that's left, he's the reason why I would have been willing to trade down a few spots, because he's your insurance policy, right? As a fine player, but I'm at number 2. I'm not taking a safety. I just position value wise, I just can't justify it, right? He'd have to be Ronnie Lott or Troy P. He'd have to become that kind of guy.
What pick are you open to that? Is that pick 5?
Yeah, I mean, once you in a situation where like Reese and Bain are off the board, then I'm okay with it, But like, I can't with Bain and Reese on the board take Caleb Downs, and I love Caleb Downs, but I can't do it. I just can't do it. I mean, I love safeties, but it's very rare. Like, assuming they all hit their ceiling, it's very rare that a safety moves the needle as much as a guy who can get to the quarterback and create pressure. We just know how much that means in the league, right? And how valuable that is. Jordan Tyson, I would love another wide receiver. I'm willing to gamble that we get it at 16 or 33 if we really want to go this year or next year we don't have the quarterback yet. So it's not a bleeding need. I'm never against it. I mean, if they did it, I'd be like, okay, we're set at wide receiver for the next 5 years. But I don't feel we're bleeding it as much. The need is not gushing blood because we don't have a quarterback even right now to throw it to them anyway. And we have plenty of draft picks. We're going to be able to get a WR2, possibly a WR1, and Garrett Wilson will fall into the WR2 role, right? Possibly.
Yeah.
Or you might have more of an equal thing. We're just 2 really great receivers. But It really comes down to Bain or Reese, and and it also depends on who the defensive coordinator that we hire is. If we hire a defensive coordinator that's 4-3 strictly, it might be smarter to take Bain, right? If you give me a guy that's a hybrid or a 3-4, then I go Reese all day.
I'm with you. I am with you. Caleb Downs, I would toy with, but only if you don't like the edges of this class. I mean, do we really think they won't like one of them? I don't know. But Downs, I mean, phenomenal. I think Downs is a higher floor pick of anyone on this list.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. He's
But I don't know.
least risky as far as he's going to be a good player.
Yes, yes, and that I'm sticking to. If I had to take him at 2, I would need to know that, yeah, we're comfortable with Jermaine and Will McDonald being our long-term edges. But at the same time, like, why? Why would you think that? Like, as good as like Will McDonald would be phenomenal if he was your third edge. So, like, I feel like if you took an edge here, it would not only improve the starting defensive end opposite of JJ, you would improve the third rotational defensive end by bumping Will McDonald down to that spot, if that makes sense. So it'd be like a double dip if you could come away with a solid guy you were comfortable starting down in and down out. Jordan Tyson, you're right, man. Like, if we don't take a wide receiver here, and I don't think we will, get him at 16, get him at 33, get him at 44, get him next year. Like, you get a tight end. I mean, anything can help you there, but like this high, there's no reason to take a pass catcher this high. There's not. And you can't sell me on it because there's not a Calvin Johnson. If there's Calvin Johnson, sure. Jordan Tyson, he has injury concerns. He's been banged up quite a bit. So yeah, off my board completely. Someone said that this is the vanilla, the chalk options. Is there anyone not on this list you would consider it too, Jeremy?
There's another edge. I'm forgetting his name right now. There's another edge that I haven't gotten to look at his film yet, but there's some boards that have him really high, and I think we have to look at him. And I think that he's more of a 3-down edge as well. Like, he's a guy that you don't have to worry about not being just a pass rush specialist. And I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Somebody might in the chat could help if they know who I'm talking about. But there's a guy that could easily be considered a top 5 guy. And I'm just drawing a blank. But not really. I mean, I think it's really between Reese and Bain. I mean, I just don't, and that or trading down. But like, the question about trading down is obviously, without Dante Moore in this draft, who's trading up? Like, who's trading up for who? The Giants aren't trading up for anyone because they'd be perfectly happy with Caleb Downs. Cleveland's not trading up for a defender because Cleveland's got a really good defense, right? And they probably don't think they have to trade up to get Jordan Tyson, and they can get Tate if Tyson's off the board. So, like, Cleveland has no reason to trade up. The Giants don't have any reason to trade up. When you really look at the teams behind us, no one really has a reason. And then when you get further back, then we have to start saying, is this the year to do that? Because there's a huge, I mean, there's not a ton of it's like last year. There's a lot of, there's a lot going on from 25 to 45 in this draft where it's interesting, even all the way up to 60, 70. There's a lot of guys in those second, day 2 guys that are exciting for those spots. It's not a lot from, once you get past 10, there's kind of a drop off. I think Sonny Styles and Lemon are underrated. I don't feel it's a drop off, but it's a drop off in where their floors are. I think, like, they just don't have the attributes that give them the higher floors that these guys have, but the ceilings are there. Lemon might be a superstar. Sonny Styles might be a freaking stud. He might end up being better than, like, a bigger impact player than Reese. But but the floor is lower.
And that is so much of this. Was the guy you were thinking of Keldrick Falk?
Yes, Keldrick Falk. Yep, that's the guy.
Okay. A fly guy chimed in. He said that. Appreciate that tip. It sucks because, like, two two to me isn't as interesting as 16. Like I can't wait till pick 16, man. Like
You know why? Because with 2, we pretty much, unless things change a lot between now and April, which it could. This guy, Falk could end up because he might take over the combine and be so phenomenal. We've seen it happen. It's happened where somebody comes in and they're just a freak and they do things that make everybody say, "Holy cow." But for the most part, it's Reese or Bane, and then even if something like that happens after the combines, it's going to be somebody else and somebody else, and we're going to know, and it's going to be obvious it's between these couple of guys, but at 16, there's so much more variable because you don't know who's going to still be there. Is Sonny Styles
there's
even be there? Is Makai Lemon even going to be there?
no
Where is Sadiq going to go? Is he going to move up?
gone.
Is he going to stay where he is? Like, we just don't know anything. But if
I have a
Sadiq Lemon,
yeah,
if Sadiq Lemon and Sunny Styles are all gone, understand
gone.
what that means. That means some really special people came back, fell, and dropped back to us because they were projected to go early. So
True.
who are the guys that are going to fall back to us though? If those guys are all gone.
Worst case scenario for me is those 3 guys were taken from 12 to 15, and then we take Ty Simpson.
I mean, if they love him. I mean, I think they have to love him. If they love him, I can't argue with it. Like, if they love him, if they're convinced, then they're either going to fail and they deserve to get fired, or they're going to hit it big and they're right. But you can't take a quarterback because he's the one that's there. You can't. It can't be because he's the quarterback that's there. It can't be a surprise.
Well, you've seen him on tape. What I ask you though is if his pro day looks excellent. Now, hear me out. His pro day looks excellent. He goes to the combine. Mendoza does not, because I don't think Mendoza will go to the combine. Say Simpson goes. He is the best passer of the football there. He does interviews. We like him. Are you okay? And I'm not even saying just stick and pick him at 6. I'm saying Sadiq's gone. Styles gone. Lemon's gone. Them top guys. Carnell Tate's gone. Long gone. If they like him, is 16 too rich? Is he gone by 16 if he has that kind of offseason?
I mean, again, I want to hear them say we love him. Like, I want him to I want to hear him say it. Like, they won't. They're going to say it either way, so you can never really know. But if he's honestly on their board, if they're the whole process saying, man, I hope Ty Simpson's there at 16. I hope we love Ty Simpson, but not for 2, but at 16, oh my God, he'd be such a good swing at 16. Okay. But if it's just them going with the motion, like so many teams do, he's the quarterback that's there, gotta take him. It's a little easier to swallow. Obviously, it's easier when guys you love are off the board anyway. Right, like if there's no Lemon, there's no Sadiq, there's no Sonny Styles, and it's just, and most of the guys that slip, they're all the cornerbacks, and you're thinking, well, we're taking him instead of a cornerback. I mean, it's more digestible. Like, okay, but man, whoever the quarterback pick is so important, it's so critical to this franchise to make us not suffer another 5 years. Like, so much is riding on it. That's why I'm willing to say, man, if you have to, just chill out and wait till next year. I mean, and I don't like that. I don't like saying that. I wanted there to be quarterbacks this year. I think it's terrible, and I feel disgusted. I feel pained that the year we have the number 2 pick, it's the year where there's no freaking quarterbacks. Like, it's a joke about how bad our luck is. And last year there were fucking 5 quarterbacks. Like, we can't even get a chance to get a quarterback. So we just can't pick it because that's the one that's there. And then we don't pick one next year because we already got him. And then he turns out to suck. And here we are back again. Like 3 years from now, new coach, rebuild, looking for a quarterback. I can't do it. So they better love him and they better be right, is all I'm going to say. They really better be right.
I am with you. Ty Simpson, man. I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm troubled because if you take him, is that your QB1 of the future, or are you taking him at 16 to be your QB2 in just 1 year's time? Is he going to be your QB2? Like if he's our QB2 of the future, he's not worth pick 16, right?
33, maybe 45. I mean, if he's your QB2 of the future and you really keep him for 10 years and he's really your guy and he's good, like he comes through and he's able, like right now, Houston has that guy, right? They should have probably brought him in today. Like they have that guy. They have a guy that can actually come in and win games for you and save your season. And, like I think that's underestimated how important that is, but you can't freaking do that at 16. Like you gotta, not this roster. We need to take swings. I mean, like the most solid swings possible. We need to add talent. We need to build a team. Like and that's why I'm not obsessed over it. Like if we don't take a quarterback, fine. We suck. We're not going to win anything anyway. Don't take the wrong guy. If you don't like anyone, don't take anyone. You could take some swings in the 4th round. I don't give a shit what they do in the 4th round, but do not do it. Do not use a prime pick on a guy because he's the only available guy. Like we can't fall into that trap. It's okay to suck next year. We're not making the playoffs next year anyway. I mean, what I want to see next year is whoever we pick this year, whoever we add to the roster, whether it's free agency and these draft picks, I want to see them do well. I want to know that we made the right choice and see them do well. Right? That's what I need for next year. That's what my expectation for next year is that we pick right. I want to see Mason Taylor take another step forward. So we have to get some competency at quarterback. It can't be it got to be like James Winston. It's got to be someone who could play the position, not Brady Cook, right? But I just need to see the new players that we're picking and bringing into this roster do something or show some signs of life. I want to see Olu take a step forward and get better, right? Like I want Membu to stay on this path. I just want to I want to have hope. I want there to be guys on our team that show they can be part of a winning future.
And if Mason Taylor takes a step forward, I want to see it be after he caught the ball so he can finally say he can get yak.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's taking a step forward, man. Got to be with the ball in your hands. Oh boy. That is the big argument on him. He just falls down with the ball. Well, guess what? What I want to see is our free agent class. Okay. I want to see our coaching hiring cycle. Can we give them that benefit? Can we allow them? Like we're judging them, the whole staff, we are judging on what they're going to do next year. And they haven't even hired a staff yet. That's insane. Okay. That's insane. This is the most depleted our staff will be in this calendar year. It's the most depleted. You got to wait and see, man. Let them hire some guys. How about you start to look at their vision? Are they recruiting talent at the coaching position? Let's find out. And then what's their free agent class like? Because I don't care about Sadiq anymore. It's pick 16. If we go out and we sign Isaiah Likely off the free agent wire, who is available? That's the kind of, you know what I mean? If you hire the right coaches, if you recruit the right talent in free agency, what I want to do is head into the first round of the draft, not being telegraphed. Maybe we have some Band-Aids on some bullet holes. That's fine, but it's still Band-Aid. It helps because then pick 17, pick 3, they can't telegraph you. And that's what we need. We need to be able to pick these picks, the right way. And then, hey, man, if we're okay with 2 or 3 guys, we can slide back with pick 17 because they don't know what we're going to do. And they got to tell us what they want to do before we swap picks with them. How about that?
Yeah.
Dude, if I'm sitting at, I'm just saying, man, if I'm sitting at pick 2, okay. And I want Reuben Vane.
Yeah.
Number 3 calls me. They want Reese. Hey, man, I don't even care if you just give me a 7. Come on up because you don't want Bain and I want Bain. Let's do it. A 7th round pick, better than we had yesterday.
Yeah. Or like just swap your 70th pick, 68th pick with our 105.
Dude. Amen.
And move up.
Yeah. Because when you do it one rung at a time, you have the benefit of knowing what they're coming up to get. If it's not what you want, or if there's two guys you want, you can sell for cheaper on the dollar to go down a rung. Just a thought. Plus, you got to give your draftee less guaranteed money if it's at pick 3 instead of pick 2. Save you $5 million. Why not? But the key is, dude, can Muji read the board? Does he have a pulse on the other GMs? Because like he needs one in the next 2 years. If we're going to have a fighting chance, he needs to know exactly what's going to happen before it's going to happen, and he needs to know what we want to do in various scenarios. Right?
Yeah, I don't feel last year. I don't feel the draft was. I mean, I think it's too early to complete. I always say you got to wait to draft, like judge a draft. And I think that last year, without his personnel team, without his, he had to use the old team. I'm fine with his draft. Right? It's not perfect. It's not great. It's not, but whatever. We don't know yet how it's going to end up because we don't know 100%. Like, for example, a guy we don't know 100% about, like Malachi Moore. Right? Is he going to end up just being a guy that doesn't stick around? Is he going to be a safety 3, the back, but a reliable, good guy who can come in? Is he going to develop and be a starting safety? Right? Like, we don't know the answers to that. Mason Taylor, is he going to be just an okay, good tight end? Like a tight end too? Or is he going to take a big step next year? Like the games he started to shine, games 5, 6, 7, 8 in the season, when before we started tanking, before the shit hit the fan, he was actually showing sparks of being special or being really good. Like, we don't know because he was a rookie and he played for a terrible quarterback on a terrible offense, right? So we don't know yet completely about Mason Taylor, what he's going to be. But anybody who's shutting the door on the possibility that he could end up being a great tight end, like a really, really good one, you're out of your mind because there's no evidence that he isn't. Like nothing he did nothing wrong to say I might not be really good. Like, he started to show it when there was still some realness to this team. So my point is, we don't completely know yet. We know he nailed the Membo pick, I think, right? Unless he doesn't progress at all. So we just, and AZ Thomas, by the way, for a rookie 3rd round pick to come in his first year, the way he came in, made some rookie mistakes, but also played at times really well, looking like a very promising pick. Not easy to find a real starting cornerback in the 3rd round.
No. And there will be people, oh, he couldn't even finish his rookie year. He got hurt. Well, guess who else did? Olu Fashanu. And he was fine in year 2. So, like, give the kid a break, man. He got his feet wet. He got adjusted to the speed of the game. Let's see what he is in this spring in training camp. Let's see what he is. Like you said, Jeremy, he could be safety 3, but he could be just as good as safety 2, and that would be a benefit.
If he's a legitimate safety 3, where someone goes down that you don't have to panic, that he comes in and he's solid and does his job. If he developed into that based on where he was picked, that's a freaking good pick. Like, it was a good move to move up and get him. Like, absolutely no doubt about it. Right. Mm-hmm. And I hate when people go nuts about those last couple of picks. Like, who cares? When you get into the 6th and 7th round, who cares? I mean, you can't. It's so, like, it's great if you can find someone, but you're going to judge a GM based on that. It's crazy. It's
but you traded up. You traded up for Tyler Barron, Jeremy.
Yeah, it made no sense that he did. There's something in him. I knew right away it was. I worried about that from the beginning, and then training camp, I knew. In training camp, in preseason, watching him in those games, I said, this guy is getting blown off the ball. He's like, it's like they're playing with a high school kid. Like, it was so obvious. And the fact that he actually played in real games just shows how pathetically bad our roster got.
Yeah, dude, he played a lot of snaps, a lot.
Crazy, because he's if he even developed into an average player, even a rosterable player, I'm shocked. I'm shocked because he's that. I mean, I don't know. He might be one. I don't know how many people I've seen go like be that bad and then get good. Like, it would be so hard to imagine. It's happened. There have been players who come to the league and they're really bad, and then they develop and become good players, and then your like mouth is hung open. Like, how did that happen? But it doesn't happen very often.
I will say Barron, I thought, was out there longer. He played 95 snaps, but Braden McGregor played 265.
Wow. Yeah, we got stuck with
Clemens 600 snaps. Where are you at there? Where are you at there? Because I think I saw the Jets roundtable last week. Jake, Matt, Richie were chopping it up. Jake says he thinks that Glenn brings Clemens back because he likes Clemens. And I'm not saying Jake said we ought to bring him back. Jake's saying he could see it. Can you see us retaining Clemens?
Unfortunately, yeah. If we don't, I mean, because I mean, I don't like it. I'm not like screaming this with a, but like, unfortunately, our until we replace and find players on the roster, he's an Iron Man. He plays. He doesn't get. He plays snaps. He fills the spot. I would have liked, and I'm not saying he'd be good, but I would have liked, in a perfect world, to see him move to defensive tackle. Right. I also wouldn't have minded, or would be. I think for his career, he'd be better if he was playing in a 3-4 and he was a blocking absorber. If his job was just to absorb the blocks, because he's a strong guy, big guy. I think that on a 3-4, he could be very rosterable for a team. Like, he could be one of your edges on a 3-4, just absorbing the blocking, and doing his job, and
Yeah.
So I could see it because we're still that bad. And if we don't draft an edge, and even if we draft an edge, who's your backup? Are you going to go with McGregor or Clemens or Watts? Or, you know what I mean? We have these like undrafted players that are like sticking around every year, but like none of them are very good options. Maybe you could find someone in free agency on the cheap that's better than Clemens, but doubtful unless you're willing to spend money.
He is 28. Let me just say, like, I think it bodes well for his chances of staying, considering he made 3.6 million this year. We could not negotiate that. It was automatic, but we could have cut him, and we did not.
We didn't.
We opted to pay him, and like, if you retain him, what is the value? Like, what is it? 2 for 6? Like, would you give him 2 for 6, Jeremy?
I don't want to. I just the shit he pulled against Buffalo, the stage dive penalty, the cursing with the fans, and it's hard for me to imagine that. It's hard for me to imagine that he's any kind of real answer for us. I would love to move on from him, but you have to find. If you're gonna pay him 2 for 6, you can't find some just other average freaking edge, some guy, that body that you can hire for the same amount of money, like, and just start fresh with a new attitude, with a new mindset.
Yeah. It's ironic though. It's like if they do marry themselves to keeping Clemens, like I just think back to him walking in with Lucille, the bat with the barbed wire. And the one thing Lucille was known for, man, killing a character named Glenn.
But I'll tell you.
I'm just saying, man.
If you're going to come into training camp with no shirt on and a steel bat or whatever, you better be good. And he just wasn't. So now it becomes a joke, like he's a horse's ass. But if he would have been if he would have been an all-pro, we would love it. Oh yeah, badass comes in every year with the bat, But unfortunately, no. He's just too dumb of a player. He's just, he's hurt us so bad.
Barney got that reference, man. Walking Dead. Yeah, man. If you want to marry yourself to I am Negan, the chat, they're all over that one. Dude, we got 40 in here. Chaos. We actually, I mentioned it earlier. Could we get to 600 subs? We did, man.
Where are you there? You hit 600?
We got 600.
Told you we'd get there.
Hey, appreciate you guys. We are all Negan. If you're Negan too, hit that like button. Hey, feel free to pitch me a question. We just kind of riffing here, and I went to defensive end specifically. Well, let me ask you that. Jermaine, you let him play out the year. Will McDonald in May, are you giving him his 5th-year option? What about either of those questions?
Man, it's with Will McDonald. I don't think so. I don't think you can. I mean, I don't think you give a 5th-year option because that's expensive, right? It's going to be pretty costly. And I don't know that he's earned it. Like I know people, like I love, when he does the big plays and, and like I know he had the double-digit sack, but it's all he does. And he's such a detriment. Like he's not a real edge. Like you can only bring him in and pass it. When you bring him in and they're able to, it has to be such a strict passing situation. Otherwise, he's a detriment. He's a big problem. So it's hard to pay a guy like that a lot of money. I'd rather take the chance just to negotiate with him, extend them like in that way, but and get a better deal, and pay him a reasonable amount of money of what he's worth. It's much easier said than done. JJ, I think you have to let play out, and I think he understands that because of the injury. Like he's just missed a lot of time, and I mean, what are we going to do? Like, I mean, I think that maybe if he plays great the first 4 or 5 games, you might see like what we did with JFM. You might see an in-season extension.
Or Josh Myers. Yeah. Agreed, man.
I mean, we can't come in there and give him a 25 million, 30 million per year contract. We can't. He hasn't played you know what I mean?
Well,
we can't do
it's
it.
like AVT. It's like AVT, man. You have to soften your stance at the negotiation table if you can't stay healthy.
You shoot
AVT
yourself in the foot if you start if the big contracts that you give out, you give to guys that just because they're good and you're afraid of losing them. You can't. Those big contracts have to go to impact players. Right?
They do, and we don't. When you when you take how much cap space we have, and you divide it by how many holes we all believe are present, what's that? 3 million a starter? That's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us believe it that have thought about it. Like, we're lucky if we can fill and rebuild this roster the right way in just 2 years. I know it's possible because I've seen it done. Millions of teams, so many teams have done it, but you have to hit and you have to do everything right and make really smart decisions. Mood just showed he can get role players. He can get solid, regular, he could fill some positions like Phillips and, Briggs. And, he's definitely Brownlee. Like he definitely showed he can get guys that fill a role that matter. You need guys like that on the team because not everybody's going to be a high paid star. So you have to be able to find guys like that. He showed that he has some ability to do that. I believe that. So it's not impossible. If he drafts really well and we're really smart with the money, we might be able to do it in 2 years. There's no way we're going to do it in one offseason. We're not going to be sitting there in June going into the summer thinking, we got this. We filled every spot. It's just not possible. There's just too many, like you said, there's too many holes and there's not enough resources for this to be a 1-year fix.
Yeah, I mean, I was told that our 95 million was a war chest, but I just don't see it, man. I don't think that's enough compared to what we like. They're looking at this roster. Like, let me ask you that, and you don't have to go elaborate or specific with this, but like, how many players on the roster today are here not in 2026 but in 2027?
There's going to be a lot of guys gone. I mean, obviously, we're losing a bunch this year, so. That's the big move. The big turn is going to be this year. I think, like when you look back at this regime, let's fast forward 3 years, whatever. Hopefully they're not gone because they do so well. But like let you move to the future and you look back. This is the off season where we're going to have the big turnover. Like this is the off season where we're going to have the most guys leave and new faces come in. It'll still be big than the year after that, but I think next year will be, when you look back at it, the biggest turnover. I think we're letting 30, out of those 30 guys, I think like 20, we're letting 20 guys walk at least. There's a lot of guys that are going to walk and be gone, and it's going to be a huge turnover.
I think most of the O-line is here. Not this year, next year. Most of the O-line, Garrett, who else, man? The guys we just drafted.
I think a lot of it is on the defensive side that you're going to see leave, right? That's what's going to obviously change the most. You're going to probably have from the 11 guys that started the season this year to what starts in 2027. What are they going to be? 3 guys left, maybe? Right? Like it's going to be very, very different. Offensively, we're going to lose a guard. And Myers is one more year. We may even draft a center and have that replaced. So you might have 2 new guys on the offensive line by by 27 for sure, Myers will be gone, and there'll be some new center there, and probably like I don't know. Hopefully, we get Tippmann long-term extended if they're smart. Get him in there like without next to Membu forever, because those two will give us a good running game on that side forever. Myers is a 1 year. Maybe we draft a center now, maybe next year, right? And then we don't know what's going to happen at left guard. But our tackles are set, and I think Tippmann should be the guy that's set. I think those three should be set.
Yeah,
like that's the future. Those are the three guys left. And then the wide receiver room might change. It'll be Garrett Wilson. Like AD Mitchell's in a tryout year next year. We'll see what he does. We'll see where he fits, in the room. Mechie, we'll see where he fits. These guys aren't necessarily going to be around past next year, but if they shine and they do really well, then maybe they will.
Well, and it's like, oh, everybody, let's just wait till 2027. We have 200 million damn near in cap space. You know why we have 200 million chaos?
Why?
Because there's no one on the team in 2027. Literally, there is nobody on the team in 2027.
But there'll be guys we draft. Tippmann will be extended by then.
Yes.
So I mean,
Correct.
So key positions there'll be the two tackles, a guard. There'll be a center that we drafted. There'll be GW. There'll be Mason Taylor. Right? There'll be key guys. We'll still have the running backs. And there'll be whoever if it's Reese or Bain, we'll have that. We'll have so there's going to be things that are still around. Jermaine Johnson, there's a good chance that we're going to end up finding a way to extend him and keeping him a Jet, I think. So there'll be guys, but yeah, it's going to, but that's it. Like, other than that, two new safeties.
Full rebuild. It's a full rebuild.
Brand new linebackers, except maybe Sherwood will stick around. Right, but it'll be a wholly different linebacker room. The safety room will be totally different. Maybe Malachi Moore will stick around in some role, but everyone else will be different. There's so much change coming. The defensive ends, maybe Jermaine Johnson, maybe, but it's not going to be Jermaine Johnson and McDonald that stay. One of them will be gone.
I think a lot of people that see all 100 million this year, 200 million the year after, they're looking at it like we can sprinkle in talent to what we already have. No, what we already have is going to be gone. We're going to need not just starters, but depth, and you can't just draft them all. So, hey, I mean, we'll see. Maybe we can draft many of them if you trade back from number 2. That's kind of where I'm at, man. If you can swing it, do it. But yeah, man, the reason why we have so much cap is because how many holes, how many exit? There's like 30 players out of 53 that are off the books now, damn near.
There'll be 6 players from the draft on the roster next year, right? There'll be a couple of undrafted free agents that make the team, like at least one. We've always have at least one, possibly a second, right? There'll be some free agents that are cheap. Like, we'll definitely do value free agents, value hunting, guys that are $2-3 million, like a few of those, so there'll be a bunch of those kind of guys that'll start filling up those spots. Yeah. And then guys we retain. We'll retain a bunch of the guys too. The lower cost ones.
I hope whatever defensive scheme we bring in isn't too far away from what we were trying to do, because then it's just like another year of them learning a new system. It's tough. Help me out, man. Can you spin this in another direction? Because I'm getting a little negative here.
Spin this in a different direction. The positive is it always feels worse before it happens. Like, it feels like we need so many things. We do, but then it always seems to come together. Like we start to say, hey, with those draft picks and those couple of free agents, I could see some hope here. Hey, we have an offensive line brewing. We have but the reality is, like, there shouldn't be hope about being good next year. That shouldn't be. I mean, like, there could be. You can have hope. Anyone's allowed to have hope. But like, the reality is, if you're living in reality and being realistic, next year, if you don't want to be disappointed, like automatically, definitely disappointed, set your expectation to, I want to see the new players that we bring in be the right guys. I want to see the draft picks, the other young guys from last year. I want to see development. I want to see hope. I want to see growth. I want to see these draft picks hit. I want to see Mason Taylor take the next step, like I was saying before. These are the things we want to see. Don't make winning the expectation, because you're just going to end up disappointed because we don't have a quarterback.
True.
Right.
And I mean,
we're not going to bring in some magical quarterback that's going to be our savior.
right. Well, and I mean, if you just chart it out, man, we won 7 games, then we won 5, then we won 3, 7, 5, 3. I think it's obvious what we're going to do next year.
Yeah.
1 win. 7, 5, 3, 1.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, look, as painful as it would be, it would mean I mean, the worst part about it, if we went 1-16, the worst part of it is you'd have to think that means some of our draft picks failed, or like something went very wrong, right? Like, but what if they didn't? What if they seemed to be fine and it was just that Aaron Glenn is a terrible coach and we didn't have a quarterback, and and then all of a sudden we're looking at the number 1 pick in the draft and Arch Manning comes out and a bunch of other guys come out, right? And suddenly that's what we're looking at. And then some of those young players were good, so there is hope in those guys. And now you're dangling to a new head coach, right? Arch Manning. So anyone good that's available is lining up, right? So
Kyle Shanahan.
I know every time I hear the Niners fans that live around me complaining about him, I'm like, yeah, please fire him. Put Kyle Shanahan out in the world. Put him out in the world. Not this year right now, because then Miami might get him. But but yeah, let's go down that path. Let's get him on the hot seat for next year. Make some noise when the Jets might need a new coach.
Yeah. Dude, a year from now, if they go 1 and done again, or they go 9-8 or something, maybe. Because I mean, we missed out on Tomlin, Harbaugh, if you even believe we missed out. Tomlin, Harbaugh, it didn't time up with us. We need to sync up with the next hot name to appear on the cycle. Bobby from Vermont, probably born in 1960. Chaos. He says,
I would imagine so.
Big fan of Chaos and his takes. What do you say to that, Jeremy?
I say thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad that you like my takes. And even if you don't like my take, I hope we could still one day. I hope we could disagree. In a polite, gentlemanly
respectfully
way, respect each other's opinions. Yeah.
Bobby in Vermont knows ball. He's right. I love your takes as well, Jeremy. Johnny Boy, on the other hand, chimes in. He says, I got you, Dano and Chaos. Aaron Glenn will win Coach of the Year next season. Bam! Thoughts?
That's not a hot take. That's a delusional take. I'll let Evil Allen answer that one. Like, we should pull him in to respond to this. This is what I would love to see Evil Allen respond to, or get Jake Assman in here and let him look. I don't have to call him Assman anymore. I'm not in the personality of Aaron Glenn, but I still am anyway, just to be just for the hell of it. But yeah, let's. I would love it. I'm a Jet fan, man. He's our coach. We didn't fire him. I'm always going to root for, if you're a Jet, I'm rooting for you. If you're wearing our uniform, if you're on our coaching staff, I'm rooting for you. If suddenly Aaron Glenn turned it around and just made some crazy flip and the guys started playing better and he brought young guys in, they were exciting, and he did an amazing job as a coach, and we won a bunch of games and improved, and we're going in the right direction, I would love it, because I'm a Jets fan. That doesn't mean I think it really is going to happen, but even though when I say I don't think it's going to happen or it's unlikely, it doesn't mean that's what I'm rooting for. I always want the Jets to do well. And when you say, well, you just said you'd be okay with 1-15. Well, in my opinion, let's say we're in the middle of the season and we're 1-7. In my opinion, what's best for the Jets, if we're 1-7, is to finish the year 1-16. Especially because if we don't have a quarterback and we're 27, there's gonna be quarterbacks, and if we're the number 1 pick, there'll be at least one. I promise you that there's gonna be at least one.
Chaos, bear with me. I have an ad read to do, folks.
I'll bear with you.
Have you ever found yourself struggling in the kitchen? Don't know exactly what you want to cook or taste? If that sounds like you, then you need to go on YouTube and find the Brooklyn Brothers Food Review. They will give you the green light or the red light on what you need in your diet. So, today, make sure you cycle on over to the Brooklyn Brothers Food Review on YouTube for all of your culinary needs. And rant.
I love it. Great.
Clip it. Clip it.
My brother has covered more New York pizzerias than I have. So it's like Lee that's in the New York videos. That's what's funny. It's my brother is in tons of those. I do a lot of, but I do the fast foods too. Like I'll tell you if a double Big Mac is better than a regular Big Mac, and I compare a Big Mac to a chicken Big Mac. So
you do have a review of the chicken Big Mac, don't you?
I have a chicken Big Mac versus the Big Mac. I got one of each, and I side by side and ate them and compared them. Which one I like better?
That Matthew chimes in. He says that ad cost you 50 cents, Jeremy.
Yeah,
how does it feel? How does it feel to be the first sponsor on the DayngerZone channel?
It's an honor, man. It's an honor. You didn't have to ask for it. You did it so well.
All right. Well, back to it. The chat did what they did ask for is what we thought DC interviews, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. But I have the picture of all 8 that we've performed so far. Are any of these 8 names jumping out to you, Jeremy Chaos, on January 18th?
My early instincts say something tells me that Jim Leonard could be an up-and-comer. You know what I mean? There's just something about him that makes me think maybe he could be he just something. I get that feel like he's this up-and-comer. He's going to be this defensive coordinator that eventually becomes a head coach. You know, really good guy. The Miami guy, man, what the hell is he doing there? Like, was their defense good? Ask that Daniel Megan guy, whatever his name is, the Dolphin fan, if he was any good. Because I didn't get the feel that Miami had a very good defense. So I don't understand where this is coming from. Why some assistant coach from the Miami defensive, like, why is he due for a promotion? But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's, but I look at the Banda guy and I'm saying he's got a Browns jacket on and their defense is pretty good. So he was around some pretty good coordination, right? And he had something good going on there. So he makes me raise an eyebrow, and I just don't know, the Detroit guy, Jim O'Neill, Martindale, we kind of know who he is, and he's probably on the downside of his coaching career. If they brought him in, there is some excitement there. I like weirdo Greg Williams type guys. I like guys that like to blitz. I do like guys who like to show different things. There's a part of Martindale's game I like, but at the end of the day, I don't know if he's the future. And he doesn't have that ceiling because we already know what he is. Whereas a guy like Leonard, or maybe this guy Banda, we don't know what their ceiling is. So maybe they could be the next big thing. He disappeared on me. That guy, Jim O'Neill, man, he just looks too much like Howdy Doody to me. I can't do it. I can't do Mr. Howdy Doody, And then Durante Jones, who's he? Where's he from? What's that on him? Where's he from, Durante Jones? I don't know. Like Matt, and then there's something about DeMarcus Covington I don't like. Like, I don't like the shirt. I don't like the picture. Does that guy look like a guy you want to be your defensive coordinator? I don't know. Chris Harris, we already got enough of Chris Harris. It's like, what would you say in the job interview? I worked under Wilkes. Great.
Covington looks like he just murdered someone. Not gonna lie.
Who's from Minnesota? Boss Girl said he's from Minnesota.
Durante Jones, yes.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. A guy under Brian Flores. I like that. I wanted Brian Flores to be our head coach hire last year. So
let the bodies hit the Flores. Yeah, dude. Jim O'Neill, no thanks. I'm good. Just he looks way too cheerful. I think we would eat him alive, and he'd be dead in the water week 4.
I mean, come on. I mean, well, like we really want AG bringing in his friends now. That's what we want. We want AG to start bringing his guys that he worked with and thinks are good, because we've seen what we've seen enough, I think, of what AG thinks is good.
You know what? I I bumped into a Lions fan the other day, and I did ask them because they were asking us about Quincy Williams and what we thought. Should the Lions pursue him? But aside from that, like I asked them what a Lions fan thinks of Alex Anzalone, because that's a big name on Jet fans' list for bringing in an AG guy. And that Lions fan said, "Don't do it, bro. He over pursues constantly. Do not do it. You will hate him." So it just made me think of it when you said, "Do we really want to bring in AG guys?"
Mhm.
If we bring in Anzalone, I don't know, man. I'm scared, man.
Yeah, yeah. I just want, I mean, Patty Grimes is here, so Patty Grimes could give us information on it. But um I don't know. I wasn't blown away by Detroit's defense. I think they had good players. Like I think they drafted well and they put some good players in there. I think that, and it was good. It was fine. They were fine and they got injured and when AG was there, he did a good job holding it together for a while temporarily. But it's not like it's a defense that blew me away, right? It's like I want a guy, like you want a guy that comes from what Seattle's doing this year, what Denver's doing, what Minnesota had been doing with Brian Flores for a while. Like I just, I want somebody who comes from a room where they learned X's and O's that were really working and they learned how to call plays and and they have that chance to be that next guy off that tree. But like, I don't know that Detroit blows me away that much. To me, Detroit was more the offense, and I think that Ben Johnson was already plucked. So I think that dream is gone, But I think that Chicago is proof that they found the guy on Detroit that you wanted to pluck. Ben Johnson was the guy. Not that we didn't know that at the time. We all wanted him.
That's the thing too. Like, I honestly, I didn't at the time, and I am not going to move the goalpost for myself now. I didn't mind a defensive head coach, even a first timer coming in last year. What started to sour me is how bad our defense fell off since then. Like this defense was terrible last year in one score games. I think they lost like 7 out of 8 in one score games. I thought that a tweak here and a tweak there could have brought them back to being respectable. They were every bit as bad as last year and then some. So I do mind taking a defensive coordinator, head coach candidate if he doesn't pull his weight. And it's hard not to say that Glenn didn't pull his weight in the defensive room. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't like it's strategy, right? It's philosophy, even like head coach. Like we've always been a defensive franchise, so like it didn't shock me when we went defensive. But man, we had nothing to hang our hat on, and that needs to change, or he won't last 3 years. He'll last 1.5. So yeah, it's just something that needs fixed. And I don't know if the hire is going to make it like, I don't know if it was you or someone around me. They said, don't care who he hires, but he needs to jump in and fix it if it's bad next year fast. Are you there? Like whatever DC we hire, they have a short leash. And if it doesn't work out, Glenn has to then become our DC, maybe even before the bye week.
I mean, that's a terrible situation to be in if Glenn has to become. He didn't do it last year. He didn't step in. He so desperately just doesn't want to. He so desperately wants to be the leader, the head coach, not be specific to a room, just be the head coach. He wants that so bad. So him going into into the defensive coordinator role is basically him being dragged in, right? And that means it's for very bad reasons. But when you choose to be that kind of coach, which is fine, we've seen it work. There are coaches that do that. You have to find the right coordinators. So if you're going to do that and not want to dip, you want somebody to have full autonomy, you have to find the right coordinator. You have to find someone that's able to do it. And can a defensive coordinator come in and make a big difference if depending on how we use our draft picks? You add a couple of good guys in there. You change the system a little bit. We're not gonna make it. We're not gonna be able to give it such a facelift that we're gonna be a top 5 defense, a top 10 defense, but we could be much better. A guy could come in and make a big impact and bring us to 17, 18 in the league, which would be huge because that would be it would at least be a real NFL defense. What we were was a joke last year, right? So, but yes, I believe a good defensive coordinator and a couple of guys. You bring in a guy like Avril Reese, and maybe in the second round they grab a safety, and who knows? However it works, we don't know how many picks they're going to use on defense, but you get the right guys. You bring in some energy, maybe in free agency, just even if it's just not expensive guys, but the right role player type guys. Yes, I think it's possible that we could at least become a respectable defense, like a real NFL defense. But it's going to be at least 2 to 3 years before there's any conversation about us being a top 8 defense.
Well, and I like that you said that. It depends on what our draft philosophy is. Like, we're gonna have to see the free agency, because you could literally, if you get the right bridge quarterback for Engstrand, not give him anything else, and it could look eons better just because of who's under center. So that's what I would say. I would say if you want a 1-year makeover, go out in free agency and get yourself a real bridge quarterback, and then draft defense the rest of the year. Maybe you can't turn down Sadiq at 16 if he's still there. But what I'm saying is, like, if you want to shore up one side so you can focus on the other, the easiest way to do it is to get a bridge quarterback on offense. That gets a facelift right away. And then you can focus on the other side of the ball, rather than getting all these wide receivers and pass catchers and not have a bridge. Nobody wants that. We do not want to draft Lemon and have Tua throwing. Like, it's just not a good year. But yeah, again, we're going to thank God the free agency is before the draft. We'll know, Yeah. Do we have to reach on Ty Simpson at 16 because we have nobody else? We'll know. If we don't, and we can wait and see if he falls to 33, we'll know. Like, you need that clarity, and we're going to need to see these hires too, to know who is it we're even targeting. You can't say, I want this player now and this player at 16, and I want to sign this guy. You got to see what coach comes in, what scheme they run, and who is an actual fit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Too soon. Too soon. It's too soon.
Yeah. I think, when do DC hires usually happen? Well, they happen when the coach becomes available. So if the coach is available, like you saw, the Giants hired their coach. If you're a team, and we're seeing this right now, that's talking to people who are still alive in the playoffs, your hire is not going to happen until that team is eliminated. So until the team is eliminated, you're not going to see the hire happen. But the teams usually give permission to interview the guys in the week. They give them the off day to go and interview, so they can show interest and think about it. Because people think, why would they do that? It's the competition. Because it's like any real world thing. People care about each other. These are relationships. People are respectful to each other. They don't hold each other back from opportunities. Like, Sean Payton's not going up to Leonard and saying, no, you don't get to interview. You're going to miss out on this coaching cycle. That's not the way people treat each other in the NFL or in most corporations or industries. And, he's going to support him and say, you're ready for this step. And, we're going to support you. And just like they did with Banjo, and they're going to say yes to him interviewing, but he obviously cannot take a job until he's eliminated from postseason or wins the Super Bowl.
Do you think that the Giants hiring Harbaugh is going to hurt our prospects of recruiting?
For free agents?
Yeah. Well, coaches.
I mean, it's one team that you're competing against. Sometimes they're not even interested in the same guys. It just depends, because it just depends. I don't know if AG has any connection to the guys that Harbaugh's going after to hire. So AG has his own little network of people, and everybody has their different little networks, and it's just usually, how you worry about competition if it's Mike McDaniel gets hired and Robert Saleh get hired, both as head coaches. They have to worry about that because they are in the same circles, so they're chasing the same people.
And that's what we had to deal with last year, man. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, both different directions. You're fighting with the guys that are from the same tree, I think, more so than anything. But the only reason I even asked that is because I heard Jim Leonard linked to Harbaugh and the Giants quite a bit this week. And, Muji, he was in Denver. He knows Leonard, but I wasn't hearing him linked to us. I heard him linked to the Giants.
Well, I mean, if you were a defensive coordinator and you're looking at the two teams right now, where are you going?
Big Blue.
They got Brian Burns. They got the challenge of Abdul Carter. Was it just a bad rookie year? Hard to imagine that he's just a bust, right? Hard to imagine you're a young, enthusiastic coach that you can't get Abdul Carter saved, right? Dexter Carter. I mean, they got a great draft pick. They might take Caleb Downs. I could see that very easily. The Giants taking Caleb Downs. So where are you going?
Yeah. Yeah. How hard of a job do you want?
You want to go to the Jets? We got nothing, or do you want to go to the Giants?
Cupboards are bare. You know what? They might even retain Thibodeau. I don't know what they're going to do over there, to be honest. But they do have Dexter Lawrence, like you said, Abdul Carter.
They also got the defensive tackle that worked his way in. That they gave him a little bit more time to develop. Dom C's guy, I'm forgetting his name, but a great. He started kicking. He was crushing it. When they finally got into the game, it was like, why were they waiting so long? I'm forgetting his name, but there's a defensive tackle there that's going to be pretty special.
Yeah, not Dexter Lawrence. You're saying another one?
The other one that they drafted him in like the 3rd round or 4th round. He was a guy that Dom C loved. I'm forgetting his name, but he didn't start the season. They said we're grooming him, we're getting him ready, but he's going to be like a flower. When he blossoms, he's really going to come out and blossom. And when he finally did start playing, he did very well. Can't believe I'm forgetting his name, but
is it Roy Robertson Harris?
No.
Or Darius Alexander?
Yes, Darius Alexander. Dom C loved him. That was Dom C's guy, and Darius Alexander wasn't looking good for the first 8 games, and they kept saying, "Oh yeah, we're developing. He just needs more time to." And then he started playing, and when I was watching, he was lighting it up. He was knocking guys over. So I was like, "All right, there he is." Yeah,
actually, dude, you kind of triggered me, man, because when I put it together that it was Darius Alexander, I remember us on a draft stream screaming for him all day on day 2.
Yeah. I wanted Darius Alexander very badly. Yeah. Tom C got me so pumped up with him, like it was like, and the one thing Tom C's strongest positions are offensive line and defensive line. Like that's his strongest. Like he does most hours. He loves it. He played on the line. So that's where he gets the most excited about players.
Thank you. You know what? Yeah, Matthew says he was a stud. He liked him in the 3rd. I think that's about when we started rooting for him. Yeah. Then we just kept getting sniped by the Bills, I believe. They kept trading above us literally they traded twice.
They came in front
twice.
Of us.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Thank God we got Harrison Phillips and Jawan Briggs, because that would still be in my craw. Folks, appreciate you guys joining us. It is 11:30 here on the East Coast, and we are winding down. But what I did do is I threw the link in the chat in case any of you have a quick hot take that you want us to piggyback off of. So if you do plan on pitching a question to us, call in fast, call in soon, or just throw it in the chat, because I'd say we got maybe 20 minutes here. Let me ask you, Jeremy, and assuming everybody spiked that like button, right? Let me ask you, though, we did watch the Patriots today play the Houston Texans, and many folks probably were watching the game themselves, didn't get to see that stream. Can you give me your take on the Patriots and their prospects moving forward?
I mean, it's not a bad thing that they're going against the backup quarterback who hasn't played all year. I think even if he steps up and does well, it also affects the psyche of the players, right? Who have accepted Bo Nix as their leader. The Patriots look good, man. They got a special quarterback. They got what we always scream about. And there's more evidence of how important, like you can't express enough how critical a quarterback is in an organization. I mean, it's just, and you see, yes, Vrabel's a great coach, but it wouldn't be possible without a quarterback like that. He's just a special guy. He's good. He's accurate. He sees the field. He processes quickly. He's just a great quarterback. And I will say it until, I'm blue in the face, and I will believe it to the day I die. The two most important things to build a team, the things that have to be in place as far as, except for outliers, but predictably sustained success, is head coach and quarterback, or quarterback and head coach in any order. You need those two things.
Do you think that would still be your take if we weren't lacking in both departments?
I mean, I think that it's just my take, not based on just the Jets. It's based on as a football fan. I mean, Andy Reid, Mahomes, Belichick, Brady, just Montana and freaking Walsh. And then Steve Young and Walsh and Seifert, who was a Walsh disciple. Jimmy Johnson and Troy Aikman. It's just when you look at the dynasties, what do you see when you look at the dynasties? Like, when Payton was at the Colts and they finally got a good coach there, right? It's just so evident, when Tomlin had Ben, that's when the Steelers were a threat to win Super Bowls.
Correct.
Right? When Pete Carroll was in his prime and had Russell Wilson in his prime, that's when they made the 2 Super Bowls. It's just how much evidence that you need. It's coach and quarterback. The rest of it, the coach will help figure out, because part of a great coach is being able to tell the GM what he needs, and the GM just has to get him those guys, those attributes of what he's asking for, and he makes it work. It's like, get me some good fresh pepper, and they take a player that represents the pepper he's asking for. It's just that simple.
Let me ask you, after head coach and quarterback, is the third most important thing what Boss Girl says here? Do you need an abusive felon wide receiver?
Well, you hope that he's not, but what's really, the real question is when the NFL became the kind of league that just now is just decided basically blatantly in front of the world to say, we're going to decide that now it's conviction. And then it doesn't matter what the person's accused of or how much evidence is. We're just going to let them play until convicted. When someone who, it's not a sex thing, it's not a prostitute or a girlfriend everyone likes to accuse of trying to get a payday. It's not somebody who sued and tried to get money. It was a criminal charge. It was a personal private chef who has picture of marks on her neck from being strangled. Like, what are we doing, guys? NFL, what are you doing?
I'm not gonna lie, man. In my past, I've been strangled once or twice, and it's not a good feeling. It's not, and I'm not joking.
I thought you were gonna say it was a good feeling. I thought you were gonna say
no.
I thought you were going a different direction, but okay.
No. But I had a salty life in my 20s. Let me just say, it's a scary position to be in. I don't recommend 0 out of 10 stars. Let me just say that. Do not recommend. But yeah, we'll get into that on some future live streams. But Stefon Diggs, you're right. It wasn't a girlfriend. It wasn't some kink they were doing. This dude refused to pay his hired help and got so mad at one of them that he damn near choked him to death. Not cool. And you're right. I think back in the day, man, it wouldn't be innocent until proven guilty. It would be on the sidelines. We're going to figure this out first. You're not going to play, but you won't be suspended, but you're not going to play. Now it's play all the way until court proceedings, which probably, since you have so much money, you were able to get scheduled for mid-spring.
Right. And shame on the justice system. We're going to move it after the Super Bowl. Why?
Yes. Why? Who else gets that? Nobody.
I wouldn't get that. You wouldn't get that. Unbelievable.
I agree. Boss Girl, Clancy, I see you guys, Matthew. Yeah, DK Metcalf. I mean, he just had to miss 2 games for not a similar incident, but still a incident. At the same time, though, that was on camera, right? Like,
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard. Like I don't know when this change happened because they used to care about this stuff. They used to care about the image of the NFL. I just feel like they don't care anymore. I think they just said, "Screw it, money's money." No one's really boycotting. No one's going to care. It's more profitable for us to just let them, to let them play. And I think you're going to see that's their new policy. You got to actually be convicted, unless you do it on the field to a referee or something like that. But when it comes to crimes, I mean, they waited on a guy who was on camera, literally on camera. We saw the footage of him running away from a car accident, and until it went to a courtroom and it was a conviction, they didn't do nothing.
is Ray Lewis in the commissioner's office?
I think Ray Lewis was really innocent, though. I think that's what's different. I think he actually was just in a club, and somebody he was, like there's tons of people, and somebody that was there that he had no control over did something, and he was stuck in the hoopla.
I am with you. We have Chaos 30 like buttons smashed, and we also have 30 still here as we wind down. Look what happened to Ray Rice, says Patty. Man, I forget about half the. I forgot about Ray Lewis, Ray Rice. There's even more. I mean, Rashee Rice. Dude,
Yeah.
Ray Lewis, Rashee Rice, Ray Rice. Is there something with that letter R?
Watch out for the double R's, man.
Yep. Crazy, man. Patty, thanks for joining us for sure. Ray Charles. Yeah. Ray Charles. Let me ask you, okay, we've spoken about previous bets that were made, whether it be you or a friend. I'm talking fresh slate right now. What is the Super Bowl matchup and who wins it?
I think it's going to be Seattle beating New England. And they're going to avenge the last time they played in the Super Bowl.
Is it Darnold, Locke, or Milroe?
Oh, I think it's going to be Darnold, Locke, or Midland. What do you mean? It's going to be Darnold?
Darnold, hey, he hurt his oblique. Is he going to be okay?
No, I think Darnold will be fine by the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair. JT, welcome, man. Call-in line is open for like another 5 minutes. We are about done here. Literally 5 minutes. Chaos, we streamed a lot today. I streamed even more Friday and Saturday. I think you did too, at least maybe both of those days alongside different places, but similar times, man. We're here on a Sunday night.
A lot of streaming.
What do you have a question for me, or, just looking forward to the draft? Just talk to me.
I got a question. Okay, first of all, who invented liquid soap and why?
If I'm lucky, it'll dawn on me.
I think we talked so much, or I think we aired most of this out. I guess I would say to you, is there any situation where you'd be on board, or you going to protect Aaron Glenn's job? Like, let's say we started the season 0-6 again. Like, we're 0-6. Are you calling for him to be fired?
Dude, does 0-6 sound as bad on paper as it feels when you go 6 straight weeks losing? I don't think. 0-7 felt so bad. What did we end the year? 0-5 felt so bad.
Yeah.
If we started 0-6, I don't think I could defend my own mother to wish me a happy birthday, man. I don't. Although, like, optics matter, right? Like, I think what could buy me that patient level is if I see fantastic 7 months in a row right now where you hire great people I'm confident in. I don't care about you. People I'm confident in. You have good OTAs, you have good free agency, you get a good draft. It could get to a point where in August I'm saying doesn't matter what we go this year because I think he earned a third year. But there's a lot of things you have to do between now and then to get me there. If it's a middling hiring cycle and a middling draft, my leash very short. It might even explode like week 4. So it's really hard to say right now in January, but right now I think he has until the bye week next year. I don't know when that's going to be. Is that going to be week 12 or week 6? I don't know. But hire a couple guys I like, draft a couple studs who don't look like garbage all summer and in preseason. It could go to week 12 regardless when the bye is, and then we just got to play it out and see. Is that a good answer? Is that a cop out?
It's good. No, that's an honest, good answer.
Thank you. Dude, it seems like we're done for months. There's not going to be any, dude, not in this fan base. We are all going to be hanging on every single hire we make the next couple weeks. We're going to be, hopefully we get Dom on here on a Sunday night and we can do a mock draft or something. That would be cool. But dude, we are not going to be as pessimistic about this team for months in a row now than we are tonight because we haven't hired anyone. We haven't made any upgrades. We haven't signed anyone in free agency. This needs to be rock bottom. Will it be? I can't say that, but what I'm saying, this needs to be the weakest we look, the worst we feel. And if it's not, man, we're going to pull that ripcord. But for now, let's assume that this is ground zero. Each hire, each draft pick, each free agent needs to get us above that. But right now, it's got to be the worst it's ever been, worst it's ever going to get, or bro won't last till the bye week.
No, it better not get lower than this.
That I'm there. Yeah. This has to be rock bottom.
Yep.
The super chat, Scott Foster 23 chimes in with a $2 US super chat. He says, I will always defend Dane's mom. I mean, she had 8 kids, Scott. So like, if you like a long slide, no, shut up, Dane. I came out going, wee. Good question. Hopefully I answered it well. Chaos, I don't think we're getting a caller. I don't want to oversaturate these people with me and you today because I think a lot of them were with us earlier. Any final thoughts when it comes? Maybe you want to pitch a final thought at Hoosiers versus Hurricanes. Maybe you want to pitch a final thought about the hiring cycle, any direction you want. And then I want plugs from you. And I don't mean hair plugs.
I think the most painful thing in the world about tomorrow's game will be if Mendoza just freaking dominates Miami and doesn't even care about, just their means nothing to him. He just passes all over them and whatever is efficient and 12 for 15 or whatever it is. As much as I like him, screw him. He's not ours. He's the Raiders, right? So let Bain sack him 5 times. Let Bain be epic and historical. Let Bain rise to the occasion and cause 3 fumbles and get the ball twice and score 2 touchdowns and be like the obvious pick for us because he's like showing that when he just came into his own and he's the biggest stud alive. I mean, really. That could be the best. That would be the best thing we could hope for, right? Because to see Mendoza, not that I love the prospect and everything. I like the kid, but it just hurts. Like watching him dominate, and if Indiana wins 38-10 or whatever, it's just gonna hurt. But if Bain gets a bunch of sacks and everything, then at least we could say, hey, you take your guy, Raiders, and we'll take our guy, and when we play each other, we're gonna beat him up again.
If Mendoza came out, let's say he had the same exact career, if he came out in 2024 with Drake May, Nix, Penix, that whole class, do you have him after those 6 guys that went in the top 12, or do you have him in that mix?
I would have had him above Penix and Nix, if I'm being honest. Somewhere mixed in with JJ McCarthy and Daniels, and I mean, I would have had him above Caleb Williams. I'll admit that. I Drake May was my guy. Daniels and McCarthy, Drake May a little bit over the other two any order, and then it would be Mendoza, and then it would be like Penix, Caleb Williams, and Nix,
And that's based on their college, not their pro.
Oh no, only college. I'm being honest about how I
Yes.
felt out of college. I'm ruling out. I'm forgetting everything I know about the NFL.
So let me ask you one more thing. Would he have been above Cam Ward?
Yeah, I would have had him above Cam Ward.
I don't think that's a hot take. I don't. I think it's a good take.
I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a huge fan of Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders.
We probably should have whispered.
I wasn't a fan. That doesn't mean I don't think either could be good. I'm not saying because I wasn't a fan of them that means I'm saying they suck and they can't be good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I wasn't a big fan of them in college. Like that I wasn't jumping up and down saying, thinking or believing they were going to be great quarterbacks. But I could very easily be wrong. I was wrong about Bo Nix. I have no problem being wrong because I'm not really wrong because I'm sitting here saying I'm not saying they can't be great. Like, you know what I mean? Like Ty Simpson. Like I'm not convinced and I don't want to take him because I'm not convinced, but that doesn't mean I'm saying he's not going to be great. He might be great. I'm just not convinced. So I would be hesitant to take him. That doesn't mean he's not going to be great. I'm not saying he's not going to be great.
Did you watch Stidham in college, Jeremy?
No, I don't know him from a hole in the wall.
Okay. Yeah, same. He was drafted in the 4th round out of Auburn, but that was 2019. You know who wasn't drafted, Jeremy?
Oh.
Brady Cook. Patty chimes in. She says her hot take is that Mendoza can be the next Manning. Why don't we just take the next Manning? How about that?
Yeah. I mean, I think Mendoza could be very good. I think he could be very good. And I think he has a little bit of I think there's less risk with him than I think a lot of quarterbacks that I've looked at, right? Like in the sense that it's just very hard for me to see him being a complete bust because he's just so accurate. So at least if he has a good coach, you know what I mean? Like if he was playing for Sean Payton, if that was his coach, I would have no doubt he's going to be okay. He's going to be somewhat okay. Or Ben Johnson in Chicago, because he's so accurate. So you're going to be able to, a really good offensive coordinator is going to be able to put him in spots where he's successful. Is he going to be great? Is he going to go next level where he can do everything, no matter, regardless of who the coach is, and be really special? That you never really know. But I don't see anything that tells me it's an absolute impossibility. There's nothing that makes me say, no, it can't happen. I really like him. I'm excited about him. I think at very least, he's a guy that will be good in a good system. At the very least, that's the least. I don't think he'll totally flop if he had, in a situation where he had a good coach and was in a good situation. Now, that being said, we don't know who the Raiders coach is going to be. And the Raiders right now are not a good situation. So we'll see.
Is it enough to have Tom Brady be your partial owner? Does that give you confidence, or he can't do everything?
There's no qualification or anything about Tom Brady. It's like Derek Jeter when he owned part of the Tampa Bay freaking Rays. The Miami Marlins. Who cares? What is the qualification that we have to respect Tom Brady as being a good guy to run a football team? He's a quarterback. He was a quarterback 3 years ago. Like, I mean, like, what's his qualification? It's like just because he was a good quarterback means he's a good vice president of operations or part owner of a team. Like, it's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. It makes absolutely no sense. How good was Aaron Rodgers at picking out players for us that we went out and got them? Did they do anything?
You know, I'm glad the last one finally left. I will say that. Yeah. Also, he's still unemployed. I don't see any playoff teams picking up Alan Lazard.
I mean, I don't look like Clancy knowing what a winning team looks like in its pieces. Come on. We all can't look at that. I mean, like, really? We can't all look at the New England Patriots? It takes Tom Brady to know that? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Do you? Well, okay, hold on.
Every player, every NFL player that was on a good football team should be an executive vice president of a football. What are we saying?
Hold on. Because I'm kind of not agreeing with you here. Tom Brady, with every signing you want to make, Tom Brady with drafting a guy first overall, I think is beneficial. Am I crazy?
I don't know. What's his scouting? Like, what is his ability to, I mean, look, he's going to take Mendoza. So he'll, like, if he's like on board with Mendoza, I agree with him on the same page as him, but I don't think how many of the GMs in this league, if they had the first pick and needed the quarterback, wouldn't take Mendoza. So, you know, I'm not going to give him any credit if they take Mendoza. I'm not going to say, "Whoa, you see Tom Brady, man, he's a genius."
Right.
Who's not taking Tom Brady? Who's not taking Mendoza? If you need a quarterback, you're taking Mendoza. But like, I just don't. I don't understand. Like, there's like, you know, so is Patrick Mahomes automatically going to be part owner of a team and a guy you want running the operation when he retires? Should Ben Roethlisberger? How come he's not like running an operation? I don't understand. Like.
I mean, hey, Troy Aikman was signed.
Troy Aikman's an announcer, right?
Yeah, he was signed to be the president of football operations for the Dolphins.
I'm not even saying that means that there can't be or going to be bad. I'm saying that what has Tom Brady done that makes me right away anoint him someone we have to worry about or think about as, wow, they're going to be really good and make all the right decisions because they got Tom Brady. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm going to say, what's the resume that tells you he's going to be good?
True.
Like, that's all I'm saying.
If he could switch and be a part owner of the Jets, would you feel better about us taking a quarterback second overall if Tom Brady said that guy has what it takes?
I'm saying, I mean, I think that Tom Brady is more qualified than me. Okay? I'm not saying.
I hate to say, I think you're right.
Right? I'm saying that, like, I'm not going to sit there and say Tom Brady doesn't know more than I do. I'm going to say that, though, that somebody who's been a scout for years, someone trained, who watches players and everything, I'm going to say people who have been in, like Muji. Like, right? Am I going to say that I'd rather have Tom Brady in Muji's position, like, or making decisions over Muji? No, because Muji spent the 20 years of in an organization learning this business and learning how to scout and learning how to do contracts and learning how to build, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not going to go for or think about, I don't understand why Tom Brady would be better at it than any quarterback. Like, if you want to say, oh, because he was on a winning team and he knows what a winning team looks like from the inside. Okay. But then how come it couldn't be any player on New England? Why can't it be Gronk? Why can't Gronk be the guy that goes into your upper management? Then he knows what the pieces look like. You know, like, that's all I'm saying. I don't buy it.
I'm not disagreeing either. I'm just playing devil's advocate. And you're right. Everyone's taking Mendoza first. But I do think if Tom Brady rubber stamps it, he has a vested interest in that kid succeeding. I think it will help having him nearby to potentially be in that kid's ear.
If he's that engaged, yeah, then that I don't deny. That I don't deny. I don't deny that. I don't like, but that's different than operations, right? I mean, if on the field he comes in and now on the Raiders field, Tom Brady's down there spending time with him, I'm not arguing that. That's invaluable. You got the greatest quarterback of all time coaching him. right? Like, so I don't argue that at all. I'm not talking about that. I like I definitely think there's a huge advantage for if Mendoza, for Mendoza, if Tom Brady's going to be that engaged and that involved, then I think that absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely, because he's the greatest to ever do it, and he could tell you the work ethic. He could share his workout regimes with them. You know what I mean? Like
I
that, the
do.
mental part, like helping him with the mental part, and like there's no question in the world. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about like GM role, like personnel decision. That's the thing. I'm not questioning Tom Brady to be a potentially amazing quarterback coach,
Right.
like an extra guy to have to help Mendoza along the way.
And I understand your viewpoint now as well. And I don't know that I would trust if say there's 5 quarterbacks on day 3 and you got to pick between one of them. I don't know that Tom Brady's any better than a scout, like you said. But when you already know who you're getting and he has a vested interest, I think he probably sees a lot of that kid in himself or himself in that kid a lot. I do think that he will do everything he can to make sure that kid doesn't, become a bust. But you're right, man. Aside from that, the other part of the roster, he's no better than anyone. Also, like quarterback, who knows, man? Nobody is a QB savant when it comes to picking them. But to
No,
already have one or already know you're getting one and then help that kid transition, I think he can be helpful there. I do.
there's no question about it. There's no
Yeah,
question, no argument there.
we're
I,
on the
you know,
same page.
we draft a quarterback next year. Let's say we drafted Arch Manning, and then we found out Eli and Peyton wouldn't is all over our training camp. Like they're all over the place, poking their head in. They're talking to him. We're gonna love it. We're gonna celebrate it. We're gonna say, "Yes, baby, we got freaking Peyton Manning in there talking to us," and we're gonna love the fact that all winter long that they're teaching them, and we're gonna love that. And the father too, obviously, right? The grandfather, I mean, like
Yep.
you're gonna love that. That's a huge advantage, and I could even argue that it wouldn't be a bad idea. Like if you draft a quarterback, you find out what Drew Brees is doing these days. Is he available to come as a consultant? Hey, can you spend training camp with our quarterback and talk to him? I would be a huge fan of that. Like anytime you take somebody who did it and had a successful career doing something and you put them with the kid who's trying to figure it out, it's a good thing.
I am with you. And the only thing to extend this a few moments is another super chat, Jeremy, from Joe the Jet G 6550 $1.99 super chat. He says, and I want especially your opinion on this one. He says, if Carson Beck wins Monday and the Hurricanes take it all, would you then pick him in round 2?
I don't know him enough. I haven't really considered him, to be honest. I haven't really focused on because he's just the style and the way he plays and everything. I'm not saying anything that I don't know. I mean, but I can't answer it because there are guys I like already that are on my mind anyway. But I'm not going to say anything negative about him. But I don't know. Maybe I need to look more at him. But I honestly just haven't looked at any all 22 at all on him.
I don't think he can raise his even in a single game performance. I don't think he can raise his stock enough to be in round 2. Am I crazy?
I mean, I don't see anybody projecting him there at all, but that could change. I don't think the game, if he has an amazing game and makes some great throws and then goes into the combine and shine, and really sticks out, we've seen things like that happen. So I'm not going to rule it out, but there's a reason. And I don't know why, because again, that's why I haven't focused on him, because you only have so much time, right? How many guys can I have a job? I can't, and so you look at the top guys that people are talking about and you follow them and you watch the film that you have time to watch those guys on. And it's just that it's hard to look at a guy that nobody is putting up there. Like, like if you look at every draft board, DraftKings, like, it doesn't matter where you go, he's way, way down there. So it's like, then the question becomes why? Like, what do I know that those guys don't know? I'm going to sit there and come in and say they're all wrong. It's hard to do.
So to answer your question, Joe, no. It would take a miracle, like Jeremy said, a perfect game this Monday, perfect pro day. But guess what? The pro days, they're scripted, man. Every throw is scripted. Is he the best guy there at the combine? Combine without Dante Moore, without Mendoza, whatever. I don't think that improves his stock that much. Now, if we slide back at pick 44 and we have like 2/3, maybe we talk to the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Pittsburgh Steelers, who both have 3/3 apiece. Maybe I will burn one of those 3/3 that we traded down to get and throw one at a quarterback. But I think I'd rather just take Aller. Let's be honest. I think I'd rather just take Aller.
That's my personal preference, or Sawyer Robertson, but that's just me.
Yep. Appreciate you, Joe, though. $2. Hopefully we answered your question. Chat, still 34 in here, man. I hate to tell you guys that we are done, but I do want to appreciate you guys joining us here every Sunday night. We'll be back again next week. Chaos, what do you have cooking the next 7 days?
Let's see. Wednesday on the Matthew O'Leary channel at 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be having the what do we call our show? What is it? Reality check. We'll be doing reality check. Hopefully something will happen. There'll be some news, something for us to talk about. And then on JetsChaos, if you go to my channel, I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos this week. There should be at least 4 in the next 6 days. There'll be 4 new videos coming out from my site. So I'll be doing a bunch of those.
What do you have anything cooking for the guests out there listening for maybe Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon?
I'll be back on the 25th when Denver plays New England. No, I won't be back. I'm getting tired. I'm sorry. We are pretty confident that Green Bean will be back on next week on Sunday to do the reaction with me on his channel, just like old times. Unfortunately, the Jets aren't in the game, but we will be doing the Denver New England game. It'll be me and Green Bean. We'll have some people come in and out throughout or whatever. We'll figure it all out. But yes, I look very forward to the return of Green Bean and to have him streaming in we're only a week away, so I'm very excited about that.
If you guys did not hear me earlier, please check out the Brooklyn Brothers food review on YouTube. That is another good thing to pepper into your algorithm, because we can't have too much Jets talk, right? You got to have a little food talk. And hey, it's in my algorithm and I'm recommending it to be added to yours. Chaos, man, thank you. You helped me get to 600 subscribers. When we started this thing, I think I was at like 520. Man, that's a lot of subs since then. Appreciate you, brother. Have a good week, man.
Thank you. You too. Have a good week.
Hey, sleep in.
I can't. I got to work tomorrow.
Oh, fuck. See ya.
I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
You know, I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets' Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!